Hello, this is going to be a short video as part of the Divine Partnership Coaching. I've been getting a lot of incoming energy from the collective, and what I'm sensing is probably a series of tower moments and phoenix moments, which is not exactly new, but I'm getting this sense of two things happening. One is a lot of conflict, and conflict that is being handled in toxic ways, which, I mean, in a situation like right now, and if you're on the divine path, toxicity, being faced with toxicity is not necessarily going to resolve it. It might end it, but depending on what part you play in it, especially if you're with a karmic and you are acting as a karmic, it could actually create some further karma for you to have to unravel later. Now, I will say this, and I often coach my clients with this too. When you have death, rebirth card moments, phoenix moments, tower moments, there will be times that you will be called to embrace your dark side, and I'll do a different video about that. Just forgive yourself ahead of time and do it. There are some times when anger is righteous. There are some times when you do have to kind of fight fire with fire, unfortunately, and that is kind of part of the price that you pay for jumping into karmic situations in the first place. And there's really just honestly no judgment in it. I have done it myself. I know many people who have. It's kind of the embrace the absurd of life. And I'll do a different video about that because I just realized I did not do that yet. In any case, the most effective ways... Okay, I'm going to say it's kind of one way, but it's a method to unravel and disentangle yourself from karmics and any sort of potential conflict that you might worry about with others. Sorry, getting multiple downloads at one time. So, the first thing is to detach yourself from judgment. It's going to be in there. Observe it. It's part of humanity, and it's still healing. It will be there less and less as you move on this path. But, separate yourself from that judgment. If you need to, pretend like you're taking it out of your head and putting it in a jar. Just, reserve judgment and pray for that person, whether it's somebody that you're in a relationship with, a family member, a friend, a stranger, whoever, and just pray for them. Just ask Spirit, God, Source, Zeus, Hera, whoever you want to talk to, whoever is on your particular spiritual path, and ask them to help this person get on their healing path in whatever way, time, space, pace is correct for them. And it's then you're not affecting free will. You're not sending out bad vibes and getting negative karma back, because especially nowadays and at any time when you enter the divine path, what you put out you get back. And so, do unto others is very, very important right now. And so rather than thinking, how can I get even, or what can I do to get rid of them, start with pray for them. Pray for them to get on their healing path. The second thing is, figure out what you're grateful to them for. And I'm not kidding on this. Yeah, I know that, in fact, if you are thinking, like, how can I be grateful for this karmic who has either interfered at my job or interfered in my relationship or this and that, then you are in karmic energy and you're not ready for this video yet. If you are, however, ready for continuing on the divine path, then make a list of things you're grateful to them for. If this is somebody that your divine partner is with, you can always start with being grateful to them for helping your partner learn lessons that could not be learned with you. and for helping them become the empress or emperor that they need to be before you guys really get into union, because you don't want to be back in a wash cycle. You don't want to be in a toxic relationship. If they have shit to work out, be grateful that it was not with you. You know, because you get to work on your own path, whether you're divine femme or divine masculine. Find reasons to be grateful, whatever the situation is. Okay? And recognize also that your friend, your family member, your partner, your coworker, that they were also in karmic energy, and just like their third party was called in to work with them, they were called to work with the other person. And the same thing if you are the one stuck in a karmic relationship of some kind of dynamic. Just, you know, this is why it's so important to remove judgment, because like attracts like. And that's that's the irony in, like, you know, the third part of this step is to really own that you are in karmic energy too, and you are attracting them to you by being in that karmic energy. If you're fighting with them, if you're judging them, if you are trying to antagonize them, if you are playing the push-pull game in that way, and in your mind you're thinking negatively of them rather than objectively. Like, there's a difference between, okay, so there's a difference between talking shit and venting, right? And there's two very different mindsets. Like, talking crap is like, I'm not going to be accountable for my part, and it's all this person's fault, and I'm a victim, they're a villain, you know, and then because you're talking shit, you become the villain, and you make them the victim, on and on. Like, that's negative mindset. That's victim-villain stuff. Whereas venting is very different. Is when you're recognizing that you are in a toxic dynamic, and you need to hear yourself speak out loud to even understand what the situation is, which is how some people process. And which is also why it's important to be careful who you process to, because some people they don't get that. Some people process internally, and some people process in notes and on paper or things like that. And if they don't understand that you need to hear yourself think first, they're not going to be a great person to talk with, and their negative energy is going to either add to your toxic karmic cycle, or it's going to interfere with your divine cycle, either one. So, you know, definitely don't hold it all in, but be careful of who you talk to, and be appreciative of the people that really know how to hold space for you in the right way, and recognize that it's about your intention. If your intention is to avoid accountability and blame somebody else for everything going on in your life, you're creating more negative karma, and you're keeping yourself trapped in the cycle you're supposed to learn from. On the other side of that, if your intention is to understand yourself, to work out any wounds within yourself that are giving you a vibration that is, you know, attracting this other person, if you are, in fact, if you are still separate from your divine partner, you know, learning the difference between, do you still have things to heal and that's why you guys are separate still, because it's never just them, or is it just about learning patience and finding the place where you feel like divine timing is a blessing. In any case, you know, let's see, where do we get to? Suspend judgment, find gratitude, own your shit. And I'm going to add a piece on the end of that, is ask the universe to show you just how easy, fun, healing, and mutually beneficial it can feel like to believe the conflict can be easy. And then, here you go, here's your first manifestation of that. Stop calling it conflict. Call it contrast. That's what it is. It's contrast. It's feedback. The words that you use matter. And when we think about conflict, we think about, oh, fighting, oh, crap, you know, ultimatums and upset words and yelling and stuff like that. So, stop calling it conflict. That's step one of that ease already manifested. It's contrast, it's feedback, it's communication. And if it, I mean, if there's some toxicity in there, there's control, there's codependence, there's things like that. But even those words are much less entangling than conflict or drama. And those are also words we tend to use in judgment. We throw them at each other, we throw them at ourselves. So, you want conflict made easy? Ask for it to be. Then do your work in changing your vocabulary, first in your mind, then out your mouth and what you write. And look up what other people have to say about positive feedback, constructive criticism, communication skills, allowing contrast to flow easily. That's it. It really is that easy.